Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's been a hot minute. I am just going to check a few things real quick, invite some people. Um, uh, duh, 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 duh. What's going on? Uh, yeah, yeah. Okay, and then I need to share out a link real quick. Get that out there. Uh-huh. Man, I am really having some technical difficulties today. But how's everyone doing? How's everyone doing? Don't worry, we are going to look at some comics. Don't you worry. We will be looking at comics. What? Hold on a second. This is strange. Let's see. Let me check on YouTube here. Hold on. I gotta see how things are coming in. Yeah, yep. Oh, hold on. Yep. Well, this is not happening. Waiting. What's that? I've got something else here. This is nonsense. Total nonsense. But okay, we'll continue. We'll continue. And I am sorry for the dead air, y'all. I really do apologize for that. But I'm just trying to get everything lined up, ready to go, so people know what's up. You know. Uh, let's see. I can't even hear myself. I can't even hear anything. That's okay. That's okay. That is okay. What I do want to do though is I want to I'm gonna say I'm gonna talk about something. eBay. eBay, all right? I sell a little bit here and there on eBay, and my the way you access eBay is just it's kind of garbage, and um it's just not great. Like when you're trying to access your dashboard and everything, and you're trying to let's see. Hold on. Am I in a different account? Okay, here we go. Here we go. Finally, thank God. So let me copy this. I'm going to drop this. I do have an eBay store if you want to check it out. I'm going to drop this in the chat. Welcome, one and all. And if you're interested in some of my comics I have on eBay, you can check that out. But yeah, I think that's show comments on stage. No, we're not going to do that. No showing comments on stage. I'm using the free version of StreamYard right now. So let's get this show on the road, huh? Let's get this started. Yeah, and that's not what I want. That is what I want. Ah, yes. Yes, that's it. And let me make this big. Well, we can keep it like this. This is fine. This is fine for now. But we're going to be looking at some comics. In case you can't tell, I'm extremely like stuffed up, like beyond belief. I thought I had gotten through the spring allergies, but May had another plan for me. May had another plan for me. So I know that the title of this stream is Superman Death of Superman 90's comics, but I've got a whole slew of comics here. Here. Hold on. We'll get to it. Look at that Fu Manchu. Dr. Fu Manchu. I got that in a town called New Falls up in upstate New York. This is a facsimile of the Death of Superman, and then this is when I was a kid. This is at my actual copy that I had when I was a kid, and some of my comics are dirty, like the back of them, because quite frankly, what happened was I moved around a lot, and because I moved around a lot, I lost toys. I lost comic books, magazines. I had a bunch of Wizard magazines. Lost a lot of those. And as a result of that, like like my comics would get stored in like sheds and like they weren't bagged or boarded or anything, before I came to my senses. But yeah. So why not? Let's look at we can look. I want to look at Fu Manchu, Doctor Fu Manchu. But anyway, yeah. So the back of this comic book here, this Superman in Action Comics is sort of like it's got like dirt on the back of it, like mud. Look, I'm from Louisiana, okay? Don't ask me how this happened, but it happened. I got mud on the back of this comic book. I can show you. It's a shame, but I mean, I think this is the better cover than this whatever they came out here. Now, does this? Yeah, is this? So this was like the return of Superman, and yeah, see, they had this different variant deal, but it's the same book. It's the same book. Look, Coneheads. France. We come from France. But yeah, so that's sort of the story on that. It's funny, like my dad, he bought me a bunch of comic books when I was a kid. He went to a comic book shop without me. And he bought these books, and this was one of the books that he bought for me. It's like, oh yeah, this was like during the 90's, like, oh, this is gonna be worth something, the whole speculator market of 90's comics and the whole, bubble, if you will. Uh and indeed it was a bubble. It was a bubble. But yeah, so that's what happened, and so I this is one of them. This is one of the books that I got. But the idea with like coffee and comics is, I'll look at some comics while I drink my coffee, and by the time I'm done drinking my coffee, that'll be when I'm done with coffee and comics. So anyway, yeah, I'll just show you like the damage here. So see how there's like dirt on the back of this? Look at this. This is actual, like, I think there was like a rainstorm and it got into a storage shed. And that's what happened. Like dirt got on the back of this book. But this was my original copy from when I was a kid of Superman Born Again after the death of Superman. Right? Uh, and this was controversial because like the people hated the costume and all that, and it's like, oh, what are you trying to do? Who are you trying to make this look like? But this is just sort of, yeah, yeah. Let's see, who was the Jackson Geist, Dennis Rodier, or Rodier, I guess would be it. I don't know, but this was my original copy that I had from 1993. But I've got other copies too. So Sim Earth, yeah. Yeah, and that's the whole, the fight with Doomsday and uh, you know, Superman's, robots in the Fortress of Solitude. Who are you? Who are you, hmm It's interesting what they did. Like, yeah, he's reborn. It's almost like his soul is coming back. Like, but what's interesting is what triggers the costume change? Nothing. Like, he goes back to the tomb. There he is in the tomb. You know, Super Mario Brothers. Uh huh. The movie. Uh. Yes, I forgot about this. Everlast. Bless Krypton in the House of L. I can still fly, free of gravity's hold. They did some wonky things like with his legs and everything. Like really, really pushed the foreshortening and did some really interesting things with his like I don't know about all this. I guess. I guess. But like you see all this and they gave him like this visor. And then this was his, his new suit. And it didn't last very long, did it? They went back to the old the famous costume. It didn't last long. The people cry out for me, for Superman. I want the cape and shield. Unit 4, Unit 4. No, no. I cannot rest while the world is in such a desperate state. I must be their champion. What's more, I am needed in Metropolis. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like this. Get away from that woman. And then he says, What the hell? Hell? I have seen hell, fool. Put down that gun, or I will send you there. This is like pre-absolute Superman. This was absolute Superman before absolute Superman. I'm kidding. It's absolute Superman's very different. Um, yeah, just I wonder what it was like to draw this new suit. You know, I wonder if they liked it. I'm sure they did. And then like you get to get like a breath of fresh air. Okay, now I get to draw Supergirl. And Lex, we have to talk. I skipped a page or two. I've already been to the tomb and examined it. There's no signs of a break-in this time. Superman must really be alive. Lex, why didn't you tell me when I saw this? If all accounts were true, there'd have to be at least 4 Supermen. You're saying that it could be some sick hoax, perhaps? Well, I'm going to find out. Yeah. Yeah. Supergirl's drawn well. I like how they did that. Yeah, but like they gave him sort of like this Cyclops look. It's like, okay, well, we gotta compete with X-Men, so let's put this like Cyclops visor on Superman or these shades. It's just Superman doesn't need shades. He's Superman. Look at this. If that's not Cyclops, I don't know what is. And I think that's part of the criticism too. Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Boy, oh boy. But yeah, so again, look, you got the dirt on the back of my comic because it was in a storage shed, unbagged, unboarded. But we're gonna fix that today. We're gonna fix that right now. So here we go. I've got my halfbacks, and I've got my Light 2s. So we're going to take this, and I'm going to put this. Oh, I'm not going to knock my microphone while I do this. And yes, I am. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Take this right here. And then we're going to put it right here. And oh, we're going to get a good bagging board here. We're going to slide that comment in the bagging board. Oh, so say boom. I think that means that tastes good. I don't taste my comics. All right. I'm going to tape this. I highly recommend using painter's tape because it is easy to take off and it's reusable. See? So now I got my original comic with the dirt on the back of it in this nice Mylar bag, and it looks great, and the presentation's good too. I don't need no stinking CGC, even though the CGC would be like garbage. It'd be like a 2 or a 1 or something. But hey, because of the dirt. But hey, I think they can clean the comics. I think there's actually a service here. If I wanted to, I could get this comic cleaned. I think I could do it, but I'm not going to do it. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. All right. Let's continue. Yeah, so Death of Superman. See, my comic shop, they use Scotch tape. What's bad about this, again, I've said it many times, but you see here, this snags, if this piece catches any part of the comic book, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. So I don't even use this anymore. I get rid of this stuff. You know. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. But this is a facsimile. It came out like, I don't know, a month or two. You know. The Death of Superman. Move my tape off of here. And we gotta get the coffee in the frame. So it's sort of like a sand timer, like a little hourglass. We can see how much time I have. Yeah. Let me see. Let me mess with this a bit. Nope. 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 How do I make this bigger? No. It's not going to do it. Okay. Well, I might as well go full screen here. I mean, why not? Why not go full screen? It's not letting me. How do I make it full screen? I guess I don't. I guess I don't do it. Okay, well then this is what we got. This is what we have to look at, you know? Hey, it is what it is. Consider it as part of the show. My nice little background there. It's part of the show. Yep. X-Zone. Hook. Oh, my cousins had Hook on Sega. That was a hard game. Like, I got my ass kicked in Hook. I had it. That was on Sega. Yeah. I never played it on Super Nintendo though. But I did play it on Sega. Sega Genesis. Sega Genesis. One last kiss to Lois before death. Doomsday gets his... He kind of looks like Bizarro. Bakram! Where were you when Superman died? One of the most earth-shaking events in comic book history, the Man of Steel has made the ultimate sacrifice. As a tribute to the world's favorite hero, Skybox is introducing Doomsday, the Death of Superman trading cards. A spectacular 100-card set featuring all events leading up to Superman's untimely demise. We've also added some incredible bonus cards with all new original artwork. Hurry, they're sure to fly right off the shelves, unlike Superman, because Superman is dead. Doomsday, the Death of Superman trading cards. Here lies Earth's greatest hero. It's a good ad. Good ad. Yeah. Doomsday. Enough Doomsday. If you want to get your hands on my friends, you're gonna have to kill me first. Yeah, he does. He wants destruction and death. I have to stop him. To stop him, I have to be to stop him, I have to be every bit as ferocious and unrelenting as he is. But you can't. He wants to kill. You can't. Bony protrusion so sharp he cut me. Cut his chin. Yeah. Firepower 2000. And again, this is a facsimile. This was printed a couple weeks ago. You can tell the top of the comic, it's like looks new because it's brand. It's brand new. It's just reprint. It's a reprint facsimile. But the Superman Reborn, that's not a facsimile. That's original from '93 that I have. If those bones are just extension of his skeleton. Yes, I finally managed to hurt him. Exhausted, but I have to keep fighting until I drop, or he does. They hit each other so hard the windows are shattering. Watch out for falling glass. Hello, Angela. Welcome, welcome. We're just doing a little coffee and comics this morning. I'm having my coffee, my morning coffee, and I'm looking at comics. I did send the link out to Liam. I don't know if he can make it or not. And this time we'll be prepared for the trolls. Anybody who insults myself or my guests or anybody in the chat will be promptly dealt with. You'll be put in timeout, if not flat out banned from the stream. So just heads up for anybody coming in here trying to start some you know what. But anyway, yeah, more of this. So this is a facsimile of perfect. Yeah, I sent him a direct message too. So yeah, I don't know what his plans are, but if he can't make it, it's okay. He doesn't have to. I didn't give him like a heads up. I didn't say, hey Liam, tomorrow morning I'm gonna be doing coffee and comics. I'm just doing it, you know. So anyway. Yeah. Oh yeah. So here it is. Here's the death of Superman. And look, they did a big old, I'm going to move my coffee here. They did a big old like poster of it, you know. Kind of a 2-page spread, but it's like a 3-pager. See? Yeah. Wait, what does it say here? Oh, I see. So please hang on. The paramedics will be here any second. Please. You stopped him. You saved us all. Now relax until Doomsday, Izzy. But it's too late. For this is the day that Superman died. Yep. And again, this was just a big sort of like, you know, they were trying the speculation around comics at that time in the 90s was just crazy, and it was a bubble that burst. And yeah, this was part of that process. But we're gonna rebag and board this one because I've got my bags and boards here. So again, we're gonna use our halfbacks. Got these halfbacks here, and then I've got my Mylights too, my coffee. Let's see, Angela. I remember seeing this book in the mall in one of those kiosk booths they had in the mall. Yeah. Well, this is a facsimile. So this is a reprint I got at my local comic book shop like maybe a month ago. I didn't have a copy of it, so I thought, well, I might as well. You know, it's good to have. It's a piece of comic history, you know, for better or for worse, you know. Yep. And then we pop this in here. We're gonna put that comic in the bag and board, and then we're gonna tape the back, and then that's it. Yeah. Well, I mean, this is my dad bought this for me. This book here. This is when they brought him back. You know, when he had that funky head visor and everything. People didn't really like that, but yeah. So this is an original. It's not in good condition, but this was original from when I was a kid, and then I got a couple of copies of this. So you know, when I was in North Carolina, they had a couple copies of this, and I picked it up. So different variants of the Born Again Rebirth of Superman. You know, yeah. I mean, everybody knew it was temporary. You know, it wasn't going to be a long-term deal. Yeah, Dr. Fu Manchu. We'll look at Dr. Fu Manchu. Yeah, so anyway, I've got two copies of this. I gotta toss that. There's a green one and a red one. And I don't know what the difference is. I think it's just, oh, look. It says 687. It says, wait a minute. This is 12 and 13. That's what it is. Okay. What kind of coffee am I drinking? I drink espresso, and it's I have a Lavazza pod machine. I used to have a Chibo machine where we would grind our beans fresh every day, and then it kind of crapped out on us. So I don't use the Chibo anymore. I use the Lavazza machine. So, and this is a new comic from this week actually. This is Absolute Batman number 20, and yeah, look at the Joker. Holy crap. Strawman. But anyway, yeah, they've introduced Scarecrow in this. And I guess is that the Riddler? Yeah. I don't know. I've got both volumes. Yeah, it must be the Riddler. That is the Riddler. Interesting. I've got both volumes 1 and 2 of Absolute Batman. So uh yeah, this is the latest issue, and this is supposed to be the introduction of the Robins. The Robins are like in mech suits. They're like in these giant, like you see here, these giant mechs. So, anyway, I got this primarily to see. Come on, focus, focus. There we go. And this is Scarecrow down here. Got this primarily to see like what the Robin's gonna look like. Oh, yeah, that's him right there. Okay, so that's Batman, and this is Robin. Oh, so he's shooting at Batman? Really? Batman versus Robin's next issue. Damn it, that means I'm gonna have to get the next issue. Son of a bitch. Absolute Green Arrow, that's coming. Oh, I could have picked that up. You know what? They had this in the store, but I didn't get it. I didn't get it. I'm just not gonna get it. No, no, no. I did. I picked up Absolute Batman, Absolute Superman, and Absolute Wonder Woman, but I'm not gonna do Green Arrow. I can't do it. I'm actually trying to scale back. I'm trying to sell a lot of my comics. I've got too many. I'm really focusing on my development as an artist, my drawing, and you know, hell, I might do that right now. I'm gonna show you. Let me do that, and we'll go back to the comics. I'm gonna show you what I work with and how I do my stuff. All right, so that's bagged and boarded. Toodaloo. And let's go here. So, hold on. It's time for some show and tell. Show and tell. Additional show and tell. All right. All right. I have tools. I have tools of the trade that I like to use. All right. Okay. Now this is going to be tricky, but let me switch. I'm going to have to turn on my other monitor. And what I'll do is I'll show you my setup. So this is a Movic. This is a Wacom pad, but I'm going to, hold on. So I'm looking at the live chat and I'm looking at the stream on one screen. Yeah. Yeah, we're good. But this is my, let me move my coffee cup for a second. And so what I have here is, I do have like a real Cintiq, like a 24-inch, a Cintiq Pro 24-inch, but that thing is a beast. And I don't know, I feel kind of trapped when I try to draw with that. And you know, for whatever reason, I'm not comfortable with it. And so I'm actually going to sell it, I think, because I don't really need it. I don't really need the giant Cintiq, you know. But let's see. How are we looking? Oh, let me. Yep. Yep. Yeah. So anyway, what I do is I have these. What I'll do, let me go out of here, is I'll do gesture drawings like this. See? These are my gesture drawings. And I'll go on to Proko.com. That's Proko. And I'll do some 30-second figure drawings, right? Um, but you can also do like line of action too. Line of action is a good website. You know what? I'm gonna do line of action because line of action lets you choose whether or not you're gonna like if you want only nude models, you want covered models, you want male, female. Proco has better like uh models and better like images you can export, but oh, this is gonna be a problem. Hold on. Okay, that's better. But at the end of the day, what is better is oh, that's unfortunate. I gotta name all these because I have this here. So the way I work is I'll pick. Okay, I'll walk you through it. So I'll do my 30-second figure drawings. Okay, and then when I'm done doing that, I fill the page. What I've got 9 of them here. All right, 9 of these. All right. Then I'll go in and I'll copy one that I want to draw. I'm like, okay, well, let's go to the next. And I'll go here. Well, that's not right. Oh, I see the problem. Hold on. So here, I've done these, right? And then I'll copy and paste one of them, put it in a blue line. And then I'll kind of work on the initial line art, and then I'll do the final line art. Okay. And so you can see the actual, hold on. No. Yeah, but where's my underdrawing? Here. Here. What the hell is going on? I'm here. And not there. Yeah. So that's where I start off. I start from there. And then after that I will, you know, I'll go in and start the next thing. But let me start. I'm gonna start these real quick so you can see my process. I'm not gonna talk for a little bit. I might talk while I do this, but let's see. And I gotta adjust this and well, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see much of anything if I'm. And you know what? Like because this is more ergonomic for me, but this is not going to be good for you or the viewing audience because you're not going to be able to see what I'm doing. So, but this is going to be harder for me to do. But I'll do it. I'll do it. We'll make it happen. All right, here we go. First one. All right, here we go. I didn't give myself enough space. Damn it. All right. So I'm working really fast because I only have 30 seconds, right? 30 seconds. And it looks bad. I know. I know it looks bad. But again, I've got 10 seconds. I've got 10 seconds. I've got an arm here. He's punching forward. Punching forward. Okay. 4 seconds. Not much time. Join the hip together. All right, let me pause this. And I always do this. I always start off too big. It's something I do every single time. It's a problem. I always start off too big. So I'm going to minimize that. So the idea is if I can get maybe 3 or 4 of these per row, we'll go here. You know what? I know I said I would do this, but let me I've got to use my stand. I can't draw flat anymore. Isn't that crazy? Like I cannot do it. I've gotten so comfortable. And really you want it at an angle. It's more ergonomic that way. It works better. It's easier to do. It's just easier. But we'll make it work. We'll make this work. Okay. And then also if you're working in Clip Studio Paint, you can just move around here and do it like that too. So we're gonna hit it again. All right, let's go. All right. Crap, I lost like 10 seconds there. All right, here, And you can't see he's got a cape, but he's got an arm here, 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 his legs here, here. How much time do I got? 7 seconds. All right, 7 seconds. All right, that's another one. All right, we'll hit the next one. I'm ready for the next one. Here we go. So here, then here, and here, and doing that together. And you notice I'm not even, that's terrible. I'm not even really doing the appendages, meaning I'm not really doing the, I've got 4 seconds. It's all about getting the gesture down. That's all I care about. All right, let me fix this. Okay. So yeah, then I'll come back here and uh, we'll do the next one. Do the next one. Here we go. So he's got his head here. And it takes time. It does take time to warm up. And I try to keep the same process every time I do this. And I know it's incredibly crude and rough. And, you know, it's not about looking really good right now. It's about getting these gestures in. All right. I gotta pause it. See, I went too big on that one. I went way too big. And now I gotta like make room. So we'll make room. We'll shrink it up. We'll shrink it down. And okay. All right. I'm going to continue on the next one. Here we go. And really, when I have to make adjustments like that, I'm really not doing 30 seconds. I'm doing like 25 seconds, you know? Because I'm like I'm having to make the correction on the board, you know? I'm having to make that correction on the board. And again, I went too damn big. You know, that's okay. I mean, what's great about working digital is you can work bigger. That's it. I ran out of time. All right, let me pause it again. Go again. I know that's not good. Let me try. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. All right. I'm going to try from this point forward to not overdo it, and meaning to overdraw it and make it too big. I'm just going to work within the space that I have and try to keep this going. So let's continue. Here we go. All right. And sometimes it's just better to do the shapes. You know, if you don't have time, oh crap, that's way too. It's just better to do the shapes, honestly, if you can swing it. See, his proportions are nuts. They're not, it's not right, but obviously this is something I'd go back and fix later. On to the next one. 1 second. Okay, now I got another one. Okay. Right here, here. Right. Some of the things I would do on a more refined uh, drawing, on a more refined mannequin model, you don't have time for it. Like you see, I've got 9 seconds now, but I do have time to do this. 2 seconds. Move over. On to the next. This guy. So I'm just gonna like do a big shape here and a big shape here. And I should have done that first. I should have put the center line in, but that's okay. I use it as a guide. I use it as a guide. And obviously I screwed up. I didn't give myself enough room here with the legs, but that's all right. That's all right. Like he's got his hand here. You can't really see, but I'm gonna draw through there. Okay. And he's got sort of a bigger. All right. Here we go. And you can't see what I'm seeing. I'm on Proco. So I guess if I was like sharing my screen, I could do that. I could show you what it looks like to do these 30-second figure drawings on my reference. But he's got like a hammer here. Right? It's not really a good hammer, but yeah, it's messed up. It should be here. Okay. And then what I'll do from there is I'll pick the one I like the most. So I'll stop it and no, I'm going to pause it. Which one did I like the most? Okay, I know which one. I'm going to pick this one. It's going to be easiest to draw. So we're going to do, I'm going to select all this here. Okay, and I'm going to copy that layer. And then I'm going to move this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to move this to the middle. How's this showing on the camera? I guess it's showing okay. All right. And that is my, yes, apply it, yes. And then that's my base. I'm going to go blue line on that. I'm going to close this out. And now I've got just my reference that I'm working it with. So I've got my reference, okay? So I'm going to go next. And, oh, no, I need to see my blue line. Okay, then I'm going to go in there and start working, right? Start working it. Let's see. And you know what I'm going to do? Actually, I'm going to lower the opacity here on that blue line so I can see what I'm doing. And this is sort of the rough stage. Yeah. This is going to come down. Let's go up. And the way that was, I had it wrong. I had it wrong. Okay. And here. So this is the rough sketching phase. This is like, you know what? I'm skipping. I'm skipping. Let me show you what my process actually is. I'm screwed up. I totally screwed up here. And I do apologize. Let me fix this. All right. I'm going to fix this right now. So I wouldn't go there. I wouldn't do that. So the next thing I would do is I'd actually do the mannequin model. So let me do that real quick. I'll show you what that looks like. Here. All right, so and it's more like this. Right, and then that heads straight down. The center line. As a matter of fact, I'm going to delete some of this or erase this. Here. Okay. And then I've got to put in the pelvis. Right. One of the things I like to do is I'm going to join this here. Okay, and then what I started doing recently is starting to capture a little bit of the shape. Get a little bit of that shape in here. Start doing that. Even at this stage. And then here. Whoops. And here. Okay. Take a sip of my coffee. Kneecap here. Kneecap here. And if I feel like it, I will do like yeah, I guess I could do the feet, you know. Why not? Just put that in for now. And they're pretty close together, my reference. Okay, and then all right, you got this here. And what I like to do is I like to show the contour lines. Because what that does for me is it gives me a sense of directional awareness. and it helps with the three dimensionality. See how that, just doing that by itself, it helps. It makes it seem more 3D, right? So let's see here, this arm. Now I've got a problem. The problem is I didn't give myself enough space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shrink this figure down. There's so many advantages to doing working digitally. It's incredible. You pay for your mistakes a lot less, I think, because if you did that in paper, you'd have to, there'd be a lot of erasing going on. Whereas I can just shrink it down and work that way, So now I got all the space I need, and I can just come in here, do that 3D contour. I know there's a thumb here. That's not good. I'm going to fix that. I'm going to put a placeholder for a hand, okay? For now, there's a placeholder, all right? Now I'm looking here, looking at my reference, and this arm is not right. It's not right. So the thing about those 30-second gesture drawings is it's very difficult to like get that gesture down exactly in the amount of time that you're given. It's hard. It's hard to do. You give me a minute, I can get a little bit more in, a little bit more can be done. But yeah, you're gonna have to up and over. Okay, even then I'm still too far to that. I'm so close. Let me get this moved to the middle. And let me fix that. Yeah. There we go. Okay. All right, let's continue. So here. Okay, this is different. Yeah. See, and I'm looking at it now again. I'm looking at it again, and I'll fix it in the next round robin here. But I think this arm is going to come down more. Right? Arm's big. That arm is massive. I gotta fix it. All right, and then this is coming up this way. Gotta fix this. There we go. That makes sense. Nope. All right. So my arms are like extremely long, right? I think they're too long. So I'm going to fix that right now. And these are the sorts of things you can work out in these initial stages. And so, to be honest with everybody, I would love to be like rendering and doing what I need to do. I mean, doing the fun stuff that people look at and say, wow, that looks incredible. Wow, that looks great. But I got to get this right. I've got to get it right. Let me go in and I'm gonna name my layers. Just a second. I've got this here. Where's my other? Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Whoa! What did I do? What did I do? What did I do? What did I do? Okay, let's rename these. Actually, I need to rename a lot of these. Let's see. Okay. So this was 05 14 2026. This was a selected figure. No, don't delete it. Hit the delete button. It deleted it. Okay, selected figure. Okay, and then next we'll do foundations. All right, and then refinement. See, you got, well, foundations and refinement are one and the same, aren't they? I kind of screwed that up. Where's my bet? See, I just drew over the top of it, and that's what I shouldn't have done. See how I skipped a step? I skipped a step, and I went straight to refinement. Got to adhere, because what I wanted to do was I wanted to do, let's see, refinement, and then final line art. Whoops, hold on. Okay, so that's not the order. The order should be this. I'll show you what the order is. All right. See, I didn't follow my own thing because I was focused on one thing. I was focused on the line art aspect of it. I wasn't focused on the process. And the process is, oh crap. The process is very important. You got to get a good process down. So 0, 5, 15, 6, boom. So these are the figure drawings I did. Those 30-second figure drawings. I only did 9 of them. All right. Only did 9. And then here I selected this figure, and it's, yeah, you barely see it, very faint. Let's see. Selected figure. Okay. And then we're going to do foundations here. Foundation, refinement. And then, do I have another layer after that? No. Final line art. Now, I probably won't get to final line art in this video, right? But I will get here. I'm here, right? So that's how far I got with that. Now I can take this layer and I can do this, and I can start in refinement. All right, let's give that a go. And I have a little keyboard here. Almost done with my coffee. Okay, because I'm looking at the reference and I'm doing this. I've got something in the way here. Hold on. My microphone is kind of in the way, unfortunately, because I'm bumping my hands on my microphone. You can't see it. It's slightly out of frame, but it's there. Maybe that's a better option, the way I have it now. Yeah, that's going to work better. Okay. Okay, get rid of the lasso. And let's do this. And I'm just going to start. I'm looking at reference, and I'm going to start doing this, and I'm going to bring the opacity down again. And now I'm going to try to do it in a way that's, oh, you know what I didn't do? Here's a good test. Take your figure and flip it and see. Is there anything crazy? I would say my center line is skewed. I have a skewed center line here. It's too to the right. It's too much to the right. But that's okay. I'm gonna work with what I've got. I'm gonna work with what I've got. Okay, let's continue. Yeah, let's continue. So. And with these drawings, like this is a daily exercise that I do. This is not, you know, it's a terrible nose. I know. I'll work on this and I'll fix it and blah blah blah. You know, the problem is this guy's looking down, and God, he looks terrible. But this isn't the important thing. I think it's terrible because his nose is like super long, you know. And I really don't have this right. That's what I don't have right. This is just to get, just understand, this is to get something in. And look, another thing you can do, look, flip it. You see how it's skewed? It's really, sometimes you can't see your own stuff. You got to go in there and fix it. And his head is like a little bit different, actually. It's Uh, he's actually got like a beard or something, you know. I'm just gonna do that. Put it in there, you know. Can't really see his face. I need to do this though. I need to do this. I know it's bad. It sucks. But this is not about doing it. And plus, this is kind of a tough angle to do. The chin's not right, but that's okay. We're gonna. Everything just went black. Hold on. Am I still here? Yes, I'm still here. Okay. Oh, look, that's some other thing I did. See, that's another practice drawing I did. But I tell you what we can do. We can just keep it simple. I'm gonna keep it simple for this. We're not gonna work on the face right now. I'm just gonna do this. You know what? Redo the whole thing. Okay. And let's just work on the anatomy here. And what I don't have actually is I need to pull up the reference I'm gonna use to I'm so tight right now. I can feel it. I can feel how tight I'm drawing, and it's not good. And I don't mean tight pencils. I'm talking my hand is tight, and I think the problem is because I've got my microphone right next to me, and so it's good lesson, good thing to think about when doing this. All right, so then we got some stuff here. And like I said, you can easily flip this and see where your issues are, where they're coming, you know, where your issues are going to be. Let me bring this down a little bit. More. Okay. Yeah, and it's just for me, it's just sort of having a process, you know, got to have a process for this. Um, because I'm laying this in right now, but I'm gonna have a process in place, you know. I'm gonna do this. So yeah, yeah. This guy's got some interesting anatomy here. But I'm messing this up. Hold on, let me how do I do this? How do I do this? How do I do this? I gotta get this off of here. Hold on. Let's see. Yeah, I gotta print screen. Print screen. Ba bam. Get my and I use an app called PureRef. So I can get my references up quickly and I can draw from there. So you can't really see it, but maybe I can show you like what I'm doing. Is there a way I can do this? But then it's not going to show you the full screen. You're not going to see the full screen here, you know. So okay, well that's fine. Let's continue. I'll probably go for another I don't know 20 minutes. Go for another 20 minutes. But let's see. Okay, let's try this again. Get rid of this. Okay. And look at this. You see this here? Like I went lower. I went lower here. It's fine. That's fine. We'll work that. We'll work on that. The lines are getting too thick. See, but that outline, it's coming from that body. And now that I'm looking at it, it's traps. His wings coming in here. Yeah, man, this is messed up. Oh, what happened? Am I here? Yeah, I'm here. Okay. All right. Nope. See, like every line you lay down is not going to be perfect, and you don't have to like die on the hill. You don't have to say this is the line. I have to stay here. Whatever. Um, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. Yeah, I gotta loosen up now. I'm gonna try to loosen up a bit. That's what I'm doing. Get some more stylization in. You know. And this is just practice. Like I can, you know, I can see what I don't like about this. That's fine. Yeah. Nope. Okay, let's keep going. And you see what happened? So that's something that happened. This is why this is so important at the foundational level, okay? Because that center line is skewed, it's off. My drawing is off. You see that? You see how this impacts that? You see how now I'm grafting this directly on there? Right? So that's a good lesson. I made that mistake. But you see, I did it right here. So you know what? I'm going to fix this shit. I'm going to fix it right now. So I don't screw up my drawing anymore. This needs to go down the middle like this. Right down the middle. Okay. Now we're cooking with Crisco. Now we're cooking with... Oh, yeah. Okay, that's what you want. That's the fix. All right, so I'm going to go in here and I'm going to fix this the way it's supposed to be. I'm going to erase... Whoop. Tapping it like it's an iPad. You can, though. You can tap it like an iPad, I think. I'm pretty sure you can. I'm going to start all over again. Start all over again. All right? So I think we're okay on the top. Obviously, the shoulders are going to need some work. But I'm going to go in there and do this again because it needs to be fixed. So here we go. All right? Let's start over. Now that I got my center line in, I need to loosen up, man. I am way too tight with my drawing. Way too tight. Okay. See, I could have done this way. Let me just finish what I'm doing, and then we'll flip around. Let's see. And there is a certain style that I'm going for. Uh, there's a certain style that I am going for. Yeah. Um, let's see. Get a better result when you just flick it. When you flick that pen, that's a better result than this. See, I wasn't flicking it before. See, now I can use that line. Do it again. It's not bending enough. My eraser is huge. It is huge. Yeah, and so I'm trying to like write this stuff to disk. I'm trying to get this in my head. I'm struggling right now. This is strange to see this, but I am actually struggling. Let me all this schmutz off of here. Yeah. See, this is not what you want. I don't want this. I want a sharp edge, and I want some uplift. So here, there. That's a better. That looks better. That's a better turn. That's a better turn than what I had before. Let's continue. Okay. Right. Okay. No. For some reason, I'm not getting this right, and I think it's. Let's see if I can. It's too much, and I went too far. I went too far. Just put the lines down and go, go, just go. All right. Part of the problem is the way that the model is my reference. I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna change it and do my own embellishment of it because I want something cool, right? So here we go. All right, and then this is actually a line here. So here, 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 and here. So this comes around, goes here. I probably should develop a way of doing this. You know, that's not right. Like I'm doing here. You know. And I really don't have enough room for the groin, do I? So that would be like down here. Let's just flip this and say it's here. All right, we'll fix it. Okay, keep going, keep going. It's one thing to draw in silence by yourself, and it's another thing to draw when people are likely watching. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to. That ain't right. Let's get this in the middle here. It's a belly button. Here. Okay. All right. Here. Interesting. Okay. Well, let's see. You gotta fix this. Make this right. And so what'll happen is I'm trying to lay this in to get it right. And this is just like refinement. This isn't like final line art, you know. This is the refinement stage of what I'm doing here. Now, the reference I'm using for the line art is actually something that I picked up from Clayton from the Academy. It's one of his reference sheets. But um, it's going to be different. It's going to be slightly changed and different because the reference is oriented in a different way than, you know, at some point you got to like start making decisions like, well, you know, what makes sense, what doesn't make sense, you know, all that stuff. Start making those decisions, and I see there's some like you start looking at like damn it, start looking at some symmetry issues, you know. Well, symmetry is a thing. And because this is head on, it's a little more difficult. But I'm looking at this now and looking at this. Maybe like do it, cut it off there. Yeah, that's better. That's a better shape. It's a better shape for that. All right, and then the shoulders, we're gonna have to work on the shoulders here. Um, but these would be cinched up because he's raising his arms, he's raising his arms up. So let me see what we've got. You could do it. You see how I didn't really have any stylization? I'm sort of jumping the gun here, but that's okay. But in this picture, uh, really what's happening is I'm going to show you where this head's supposed to be. Because in my reference, the guy is jumping up in the air and he's looking down. That's what's really happening. So what I would do is I would change this. I would bring this here and probably do this. Okay. The neck is going to be obscured. You're not going to see the neck from this view. And I'm going to do the canvas flip. Always do canvas flip. Yeah, see? All right, this is looking okay. I'm going to fix this. Yeah, a little bit better, but not great. Let's see here. Nope. And sometimes it helps to like work from a distance. I was probably too close. Probably too close. I like that the right side, so we're gonna go that way. Still bring it up more. See how this works? Like you have to kind of play with it a little bit to make it work. All right. Okay. Almost done with my coffee. And I'm done with my coffee. But this is sort of what I'm doing. I'm trying to get this in and do this. Let me see if I can stylize some of this. Hold on. But that's not really what I should be focused on right now. What I should be focused on is getting everything in order position wise before I get into the heavy stylization of it. But this is how I work now. I have a process and this is what I do, you know? And I think if you are trying to learn this, you have to have a workflow. I mean, if you're coming out cold and people like a process, the creativity comes in how I'm laying the lines down. That's the stylization of it. It doesn't have to be it's not it's the idea, but it's not just the idea. It's also, you know, the stylization of it through my line art. So you can, I think people when they think about a process, they think, oh, that's linear thinking and all that. Well, you got to set things up. Like if you're going to go paint a wall or something, you got to tape it up, you've got to get it ready, you've got things you got to do. So again, this is different. So I've got to do let me work on this. Hold on. Cuz I was just focused on the reference too much. Too much on the reference, not on the other thing I need to be focused on, which is actual. I've got more than one reference here. I've got. See, these legs are going to be longer. Oh, my screen went blank. Damn it. Erase this here. And. He's coming out here. Yeah. See, the way the lines go, it really can have an impact. positive or negative. It really can. It can make it, if it doesn't, that believability factor, it's a real thing. And, we're trying to make this believable. So just by chance, this orientation happened to be correct because anatomically it was correct. But now I'm dealing with the positioning of the legs, which is different than the line art reference that I'm using for this practice piece. Like again, I've got to come up here and bit and start the I can't be shoehorned. I got to be able to erase and make these decisions, and that looks better, right? Um your knee is it's going to be the same here. Similar. And it's going to come out here. All right. And then you got yeah. And what decision did I make here? No, don't do that. I just want to indicate it. I don't want it to be. So this is here, and then this goes like that. Getting some nonsense. Okay. So I think the problem I've got here is this is just too. Yeah, it needs to be like that. This is too low. Yeah. But I can use let's see. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Um, okay. It's something it happened with this where I actually like the stylization I did more than the reference. It's strange. Like it just looks cooler to me. It may not be anatomically correct, but I kind of like it. I kind of like it. So let's go with that. Let's see what that produces. Uh, I kind of like what I've decided to do here. Like it's see and like you can use reference and then take it where you want to go with it. If you think it's okay, I want to do something else, then do something else. Do something else with it. Shit. Why not? Okay. All right, let's work on this a little bit. There's something going on here. Yeah. That's what I'm missing. That's what I'm missing here. Yep, I'm missing that. Yeah. You got to get that in there. Whoops. You got to get the whole thing in there like that. And so like the next phase, I would clean this up. I guess I could wear like a glove, when I do this, and it would probably, reduce some of the excess I'm getting on here. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to wear a glove. I've decided not to do that. You see, and like what I like about doing these studies is you see how I had a straight line there? Watch how more real this is going to look when I fix this. Watch. See, there should be some. Sorry, I got some messages or whatever. There should be some indication of like the gravity pulling on this. Like you want to see that. And when you have real world reference, photo reference of like models or whatever, whether you decide to go Proco or whatever, you get that, but you won't get it if you just try to draw out of your head, and very few people can actually do that successfully. But they do have this like knowledge of anatomy, and they're gonna be like, well, yeah, this should be this is how it should be. But I want to try it again. What I'm battling right now is a symmetry issue. I'm having problems with symmetry here. But I am using the real world reference to see like, oh, this is what I need to do to make this look right or better, you know. This arm could be better. It could be a little bit better. And I think that's okay. Okay. Probably bring this bicep up a little bit more. And you'll notice the things that I'm less confident in, I'm a little more scratchy in, right? The things that I have more confidence in, I'm going to be, and really I should be flicking this pin. And it's really just pencil, but you know, it's all black anyway. I should be flicking this more. And you see how this is bigger, but then I'm losing sort of the stylization of it. So maybe I can, let's see if I can do some style here. Here we go. A little more interesting, even though it's rough. It's very rough. It's a little more interesting than just doing a circle or a curve. Having these shapes, you know, I think it does make it makes it pop a little bit more. And you know what I'll do? I will indicate something here. Something needs to be indicated. But this is all I'm doing, y'all. Like this is my quest this year, is to get good at this shit. Get really good. And so I do this every day. Sometimes I draw females. Dennis Rodriguez, hello, sir. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So yeah, this is like my goal, is to get good at this shit, you know, and then I can move on to the next thing and on to the next and on to the next. And just for your purposes, Dennis, I'm going to show you like this is where we started, all right? So I was doing this. I do 30-second figure drawings, and oh, thank you, Angela. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I do these 30-second figure drawings, and then I pick the figure I want to work with that I like the most, and then I'll copy it and paste it, right? And that's where I started. That's where I started with this. Then I'll do sort of the foundational stages. I know you can barely see that. And I have the don't I have the opacity? Yeah. Yeah. See, and then I'll come in here and I'll work on this. And I'll kind of fix this up a little bit. This is just the underdrawing, right? And so I know kind of what my proportions are going to be. And then after that, I come in on top of that with the anatomy, and I lay the anatomy on top, which that's weird. That looks weird. Let's do this. And so this is what you get, right? And then now you have something a little more comic booky, right? It's some, you got some good anatomy going on in here. So yeah, it's a process. You know, I work on this, and you know, I only have so much time in a day to do this. You know, I have commitments, I have responsibilities, blah blah blah, like everybody else. Let me flip the canvas. See what I'm seeing here? This is you know, these wings are just way too I'll erase the whole damn thing and I'll start all over again. If I don't like it, just start again. Let's see if you can get it better the next time. That looks better. See? Whoops. That looks better. Maybe I do small indications here. Direction. Just for purpose and striation. No. Oh, okay. And that's how I kind of do my practice. And I may not take it any further than that. I want to work on these legs. I think there's some room for improvement here. I'm going to try to do this. See if I can get it better. What I don't like is, yeah, I know what I don't like. I know what I don't like. Whoops. And this was from yesterday. Hold on. Wow, that's interesting looking, isn't it? That is freaky. But that's what I drew yesterday. As a with women, you're gonna do less whoops, less detail, right? But I didn't follow my process yesterday. I did something else, and I should have followed my process. So back to my process. Back to it. See, when you follow a process and you follow it well, you're gonna get better results. Better results. Uh, yeah. Go back to this. Yeah. It just takes time to do this sort of thing. It takes practice. And I'm just a penciler, okay? Because then going and inking is a whole other thing. And if you watch people like Ethan Van Sciver, he's such a pro. Like he goes straight into his inking, straight into it. And you know, that's really cool. It's really cool. I mean, he's a professional. He's been doing this for a long time. So, but yeah, I'm seeing what I don't like about this. I'm seeing what I don't like about it. Don't want any tangents here. I do want to indicate that. You see how that can change something? How you can. It kind of makes it look strange, doesn't it? Sometimes less is more. Sometimes less is more. I think that looks better. I think it looks better. Is it correct? Is it technically correct? Maybe not. But I do think it looks better. I gotta figure this out. You see how I have this? I had a better stroke here than I had there. So we're gonna go back. I'm gonna do this again. And I had it was flush. It was flush with the kneecap. Let's see how that goes. That's better. Yeah. So little things like that. You have to have patience with this stuff. Like you have to be a very patient person. Be patient with yourself so you can do it. There's gotta be a better way I can do this. Hmm. What I'm doing is I'm experimenting with shapes. I'm trying to see like what I like more. I like when I flick the pen. Why do I keep doing that? It's because my hand is touching the canvas. That's what it is. When you flick the pen, you get better results, I think. Erase some of that. Erase some of that. So the excess, maybe make this a little more like that. This is like a symmetrical drawing. I hate to say it, but it's sort of like you have to, it's very symmetrical in nature. And so you're going to have things that are going to happen. Uh, and you're going to be constantly kind of looking at it like, oh man, this is not right. This is not right. But when you take that underdrawing away, this is what you have left, you see? And people are often like, well, how do you get there? Like, what do you, how did you get there? You worked on top of what you had before. You worked on top of with that. Trying to get some of this in here. I don't know if it's really going to work or not. Maybe I keep doing this. I keep screwing that up. All right. Maybe an indication here. Let's see if this is, that's a bad line. I gotta fix it. Fix that line. Bring it in here, like I have over there. And there's other things going on here to factor in. Like there's some shadow going on. Look, I haven't even drawn the limbs yet. I haven't drawn the hands. I'm just gonna, okay, that's it. And sometimes it's easier to do that. So I'm gonna put myself on the spot here. Yeah, I think I am. So there's a way to do this. So what I like to do is I like to break things up into shapes. And okay, I see my thumb is here. It's a bad thumb too. What you learn is nothing is straight. There are no straight lines. You want the body has its own natural curvature to it. You see how that finger doesn't work because there needs to be some bend in it. Needs to bend a little bit. All right. And then he's got another finger out here. Okay, and then that's strange. You can only see one. You can only see three fingers here because two of them are like do this. Let's see if I can make that work. Yeah, that's interesting. Is that hand too big? That's sort of a janky hand, isn't it? That's okay. But then I'm just look. I don't want to do the hand, but I'm doing the hand. It's not really my practice to do it right now, but I'm gonna do it. Let's see. Just you keep working with it. I'm not intimidated by hands. They're necessary. It's part of the anatomy. You have to do it. But something's not right with this hand. Something is not right with this hand. I need to do more hand practice. That's what I need to do. Then I'll just kind of go in and lightly erase here and there. Okay. Yeah, he's got like there's things you can't see that are happening with the lighting that you don't see. So, but it is strange. I'll leave it there for now. Let's look at the other one. The other one's a little more clear. We can tackle this one a little more, be easier. So it's got the thumb out here, and then I didn't give myself enough space. Let's see. See, I made a decision there. Like I decided that this was going to be the front finger. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, he's got. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Here. And then this will come out here like this. It's just your brain like plays tricks with you and you think that just doesn't look right. And then what's strange about it is it's like I'm looking at the reference. I'm looking right at the reference and I know it's correct. It's just you make slight changes here and there, and it'll work out. That's kind of how I work through hands a little bit. That hand is huge. That hand is massive. Dennis, is that an iPad Pro? No, this is a Wacom Movic 14 inch. It's a Movic Pro, and it is much more tactile. And if you are honestly, I would recommend this to people. This is an iPad. I mean, not an iPad. This is a tablet. Uh, that is perfect for drawing. It is made for the artist. It is made for people like us. It's specifically for drawing. It runs Android, but it is very good. And I have an iPad, and I never really enjoyed drawing on an iPad. It just never felt tactile enough for me. I felt like I was drawing on a sheet of glass, And even after I you know, whatchamacallit, even after I decided to put like a paper like cover on that iPad, it still never felt the same. And the Apple Pencil, you know, not that great. Not that great, you know. So I just never really liked the iPad. It just didn't work out for me, you know. It just wasn't what I wanted to do. And now I'm looking at this. Get rid of this and fix this. So sorry I kept your comment up there so long, but just to answer the question, yeah, it's so what I'm looking at with the reference here is on this figure, he's like thumb is not right. Huh. No, I don't want to read. No, I don't do any of that. Don't do any of that. Don't select anything. So I'm gonna go back to where I did what I did before. Back. All right, maybe this. Maybe this might be the way to go. So let's see. Maybe get rid of this. It's weird because what's going on this is he's got like it's hard to see on the reference. I kind of did this weird hand, and I know it looks weird and janky. Uh, but you know, like obviously this hand is better than that hand, and I kind of did it differently. I stylistically, this is more curved here. Oh, the fingers are much more curved. Let's see. Yeah. So if I were to fix that, I would go here and try to make that stylistically similar. It's a little bit better. A little bit. I think I can work on this index finger a bit. And these are kind of like the rabbit holes you can go on, down, and you don't stop. But the way this was maybe that's how I do it. Yeah. It's just strange because the thumb is actually right here. He's got the thumb here, and it's foreshortened. So it's really difficult to like do that, but I'm gonna try. Let's see. Here, you can even let's get back into the shapes. Let's see. Right, and then this is the hand here. Okay. I'm gonna fix his thumb. Okay. Not happy with it. I gotta tell you, I'm not happy with it, but I'm gonna leave it for now because it is just practice. A little bit better, but the hands are so different. I'm gonna make this hand bigger. Okay. And then I would go in and maybe clean it up a little bit. Just for the sake of doing that, and then clean up this line art just a tad. It's rough. It's extremely rough. And this is only this is the refinement stage. This isn't even the final outline. Now this looks weird. So I had the oh, that's what it was. I didn't do that. He's got like it's coming. Oh, what's going on here? Give me my pencil back. Okay. Maybe I don't do that. Maybe I just let this kind of I don't know. It's weird. It just looks weird. I can't explain it. I can't explain why, but it's just looking weird to me. Let's see. have to ask Clayton about that. Or maybe I can figure it out. I got a noodle on this. Sometimes you have to walk away from a drawing and just be like, why is that weird? Why is this being a problem for me? And I think I know what the problem is now. I think I see what the problem is. Let's see. I am going to move this part of the hand closer to the palm. The fingers, and move it in a little bit. Okay. Yeah, that's a little bit better. A little bit. But yeah, so that's kind of what I do when I work through this stuff. But that would be the end of, I guess, my practice, you know? So let me flip the canvas again. Flip the canvas. Now I don't like that hand. It just never ends, you know? It never freaking ends. Maybe the thumb is too small. The thumb is too small. It is. It is too small. Let's make it bigger. Okay. Oh, no. Well, you get the idea. You know, you get the idea. That's what I'm doing now, you know. Find it. Huh. Yep. That's it. That is it. And that'll be my practice for today. Like, oh, let's not do that. Really, at least for this morning. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do something else. I'm gonna do something else here. Give me a second here. We'll start something else. Dennis says my wife made rhubarb cake. Wow. That sounds amazing, Dennis. It sounds incredible. Cake and me need to stay away from each other for now. Yeah. Uh, so here's a book that I have been meaning to study, and I'm going to study right now. This is George Bridgman's Constructive Anatomy, uh, recommended by David Finch. David Finch studied Bridgman. Some people say they can't handle Bridgman or they don't understand Bridgman, but I get it. I kind of like it. And it's because I can see the shapes. I see the shapes now, as before I couldn't see the shapes. So there's lots of practice in here, and just working through these are going to be beneficial. But you know what I'm going to do? I am going to do the hands. So we'll get a reference here, and I'm going to start. Let's see. So let's see. How are we going to do this? We're going to do a hand. Hand here. I'm going to pick this hand right here. This is the one I'm going to do. Let's see. And please, people, if anybody comes in the chat and they're unruly or whatever, do what you got to do, you know, to deal with that, please. Thank you. Let's see. There's no need for anybody to be unkind here. So don't need to do that. Oh, I didn't make the palm big enough, did I? Let's keep it going. Okay, see, he's got this here. And this is actually my under drawing. This is going to be the under, and then I'm going to do another one. Right, and he sort of comes down here. This here. All right, that's that part. And now I'm going to do the next part. Let's blue line that. onto the fun stuff. So yeah, I do sort of like this refinement after. And I think a lot of people, what they do when they're trying to learn how to do this is they just see the final image and then they think, well, that's my starting point. That's where I'm going to start. That's where I'm just going to copy that. But then how are you going to, what's your process for creating something out of nothing? You know, how do you do that? Obviously, you can use reference to see what something looks like, but how are you going to pose it the way you want it posed? You know, what's your process going to be? And you gotta have a workflow. Don't leave home without it. Have a workflow process. And I think that for me has been sort of it, having a workflow process on how I execute these things now has made this so much more enjoyable for me to draw because now I know what I'm going to do. If I have a good underdrawing, I know that I have a plan and I know that something is going to I'm going to have a drawing at the end of it, you know? So I might not be ready to draw my own comic book right now, but I do uh I do have something here. You know, I do have a means to draw. Think about that. Like that's pretty empowering to be able to draw anything that you want, you know? You might need some reference here and there, but um you know, it's pretty cool, I think, to be able to go in and do something and have something to show for it after you're done. That right there, that's valuable. That has a lot of value to it. You know, who cares about AI and whatever? It's still you. Like you, if you want to draw, you know, you're still. That's not the right line I want. You can still draw. You know, you can still do it yourself and have that feeling of accomplishment on your own. You know. I guess I'll just finish it here. He didn't do the whole thing, so I'll oh no, I'm going off into you know, another territory. Interesting how he covered this up. Let's see, and then let's get in sort of some of the anatomy he's got in here. And I'm kind of going rough. Kind of going rough with it. I'll probably do another one here in a second. And here's the thing, some things are going to look not as cool as other things. That's just a fact, you know. He's got some lines here and some like sort of hatching. I'm just going to rough that in there. Okay. Oh, I see. This is like this bone right here on the other side of the hand. You see that? It goes here. Okay, let's go back to this and let me do another one of these if I can find my layer. And I'm working Eclipse Studio Paint. Bring this back. Okay, that's there. All right, that's one hand. We'll do another hand. And you know what? I'm going to select these hands and we're going to move them. I'm going to move them. Okay, yep. And so I'll put that hand up there and see how I'm doing the same process. I'm doing the same methodology of studying this as I would doing those figure drawings to where I did this earlier, right? Same method, same deal, same deal. All right, now I'm gonna do this one now. This is the reference I'm gonna do. We're gonna work on this one. So I'm gonna start. Okay. Okay. So this one will be a little bit easier because, uh, well, it's just two fingers really, and then you've got this finger down here. You could break it up into sections if you want, you know. Um, See, I'm already starting to do the shapes. Get the shapes in here the way I want. Okay. And the knuckle here. Let's get that. So we can do that later. Okay. And this actually is, yeah, not great, but it's indicated. Okay. Okay. And you know what? I'm going to move this thing. I'm going to move this down here. We'll put 2 on this page. I'm going to start doing this practice more. This is good stuff. Doing this. Nope. Yep. I'm going to move this up here. Make it bigger. Why not? Okay. I'm going to go down here. We're going to work on this hand here. Okay. All right. Now, go back into this. This will probably be the last one, and then I'll end the stream. I've been going almost 2 hours, so I'll end in a minute here, in a couple minutes. All right. So. Oh, interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna go a little bit longer than I had done. Bridgman. Bridgman. Just leave that alone for now. I'm not gonna do that. See, something happened here. What happened was I realized that this thumb was way too far out. Way too far out from the reference. It should be here or closer, right? Yeah, I ordered some more of these books. Because he's got a ton of these, and if you're gonna do, I think this is great because it's got the it's got the spiral bound, so it's perfect for this. It's made for someone to study it. If you're gonna draw, it's made for you to study it like this. Okay, let's see. So he has like that going on, but I don't know if we need that. See, but that seems not real. That finger, something's not right. I know what it is. I'm gonna have to pick it up a little bit. I think this needs to start here. Bring it here. And I need to bring this opacity. Oh, opacity has come down. So you can see what I'm doing. Oops. All right, we can bring it up just a tad. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. So I'm gonna do what he did. He just indicated something there, so that's what I'll do. Whoops, don't want that. All right, now he's got the fingernail here. Okay. Interesting details. He's showing like the forms of the hand. And this is his loose, this is Bridgman loose sketching style too. You know, this is not like fine rendering or anything. So, we're not doing any crazy rendering stuff. Maybe my thumb's a little bit bigger. Okay, and then he's got like, yeah, how that goes into the here, and then that. Then he's got some of that here. If I were to do this, honestly, I would make it more like that. Yeah. For whatever reason, it's going away. And then he's got more of this. I think this should come out more here, probably. Let's see. How's that look? Yeah, he's coming here. And then, was there an indication here? Yeah. Okay. And so this is going to give me a good basis. So if I wanted to go in on top of this and apply a certain line art style, or, I'm trying to develop that style, I could do that. I could apply that in here because I'm going pretty light. I'm not going too heavy on the lines. I'm just not doing it. See, I went a little bit heavier. Now, what you can really do to make it pop is you can really go heavier on those outside line weights. Which I'm going to do right here. Yep. Okay. And this is the work. Like, this is the work. As a student, an art student, student at the How to Draw Comics Academy, this is the work I'm putting in. Because one day I'm going to be ready and I'm going to do my own comic. I've got the story, the characters, everything already in my own head. I mean, in my head. It's ready. It's ready. It's ready to be made, but I'm not ready to make it. And so that's the problem. Is it's ready to be made. I'm just not ready to make it. See, I changed that thumb a little bit. I changed it. Curved it in a little bit more. But when you add these darker lines, it really makes everything pop more. And when you add those lines and then you clean it up a little bit, then it really shows. And watch, if we get rid of this layer, now I've got this. That's what I've got. And that's just a hand. Some hand practice. Let's move this over here. Okay, and then actually, let's see. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. It's kind of cool. It's cool how you can have a process and you can take it and do something with it and make something. A few minutes ago, this is a blank page, and now it's something. So we have something on here. So, interesting. You see this? I'm going to go back to this real quick. This has to be fixed. This should be, nope, get my pencil back. It should be like this. And then he's got a line here. Interesting. And then, yeah. It's like, well, this guy doesn't know how to clip his fingernails. They're like not straight. Well, it's not his fault. It's the artist's fault. The artist didn't do it right. I didn't do it right. So there you go. You know, I can make this thicker too. These lines pop. It's little things, little things. It all adds up. You know, it all adds up in the end. So I have to get my car serviced. It's it's due for an oil change today, so I'll probably do that, and I'll bring my iPad. I mean, not my iPad. I'll bring my tablet with me. And I'll do more of this practice. I'll just keep cracking open this book and do some more of this. So that's what we had for today. A little bit of practice here. Here. Yeah, that's what we got. So that's what I use. I hope people enjoyed that. Again, studying Bridgman. Yeah, studying Bridgman. And the battery on this is pretty good. I mean, it's pretty good. I'm sorry I didn't draw flat like that. It probably would have been easier to read and look at, but I didn't do that because it was just harder for me to draw because I'm accustomed to drawing at a tilt like that. It's better for posture anyway. But yeah, so that's kind of like what I've got today. That's my drawing for today, I guess. That's what it is. Look, this is a cool little stand here. Goes like that, like that. Got a little case here. Put it in like that. All right. But anyway, let's look at some other stuff. Fu Manchu. Dr. Fu Manchu. Put Bridgman away. Bye-bye, Bridgman. Okay. But I have these. I'm going to rebag and board this. So I guess the rest of the stream will be me rebagging and boarding some of these comics. So we can do that. And Dennis, I've had you up on the stage for a while. Sorry about that. Up on the screen. Yeah. Don't be a half man. Let me show you how I can make you a real He-Man. From head to toe in just 15 minutes a day. A real He-Man. Who's going to see Masters of the Universe? 10 cents. Fu Manchu. IW Comics. Look at this. Who's the artist in this? I don't know. I don't know who drew this. Dr. Fu Manchu. Wow. I'll pull this over. I am going to pull it over, but I can't because I got this up. Move this out of the way. Move this over here. There we go. Yeah, Dr. Fu Manchu. Yeah, he's not here. Okay. Well, what I'm going to do is, y'all, I'm just going to finish bagging and boarding these, and then after I've bagged and boarded the last one, I'll end the stream. So this is what I use to bag and board. I use these Mylite 2s. You dare cross path of Fu Manchu. Yeah, I got this at like an eccentric record shop in New Falls, upstate New York. I use painter's tape to close the backs because you can peel it off and it comes off really easy. Most people are aware. I am aware that most people are aware. That's not good. So Fu Manchu. This is a new comic, Ticina. This is from Ray Media, an independent comic. Kind of cool looking, Pretty cool. So we'll bag this up. Okay, that's that one. I've got, are all these bagged and boarded properly? Yeah. I've got all these bagged and boarded. Fu Manchu. Oh, these are old. So this one is a new bag and board. That's fine. I'll leave it in there. I'm not gonna redo those. The Max. I got the Max in the right, the new bag and board. I've got Amazing Spider-Man versus Black Cat. The Black Cat in a new bag and board. This is one I had as a kid. Amazing Spider-Man, 30 double size 30. The Life Theft, yeah. And then obviously there's this one. It's a holographic cover. And yeah, Power Surge. Oh, this is the ash can for Planet Death. It's a shame because the top of this got nicked, but it's full colors on the inside. Really cool. Oh, here's Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man. He's in the black suit. Let's see. Black suit. Here is a facsimile of Spawn issue #1, but I have Spawn issue #1 here. Here's Spirits of Vengeance, Spirits of Venom. Look, Andy Kubert did the cover here. Pretty cool. Here's Ghost Rider. Oh, I just want to rebag and put this. Why not? Rebag and board Ghost Rider. I wonder if like they had a theme song for Ghost Rider. What would it be? It'd be like Crossfire. It'd be Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider. Yeah, this is one from when I was a kid. I can tell because it's such a crappy condition. And then this is where they had like this new Ghost Rider that came in. Watch. Oh, cool. No. Where is it? Yeah, here he is. This was the new. Wow, who drew this? Hold on. Ron Garney, Howard Mackey. It's awesome. Ghost Rider. $1.25. The state charges $1.25. $1.25. Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me. That's why I was hoping Liam would come on, because he would appreciate this. Look, they had action figures. Read this frickin' book. The powers that be. Uh-huh. Look. Austin Powers, he's the man for you. That's it. It's a Wizard Toy Fair. It was like a Toy Fair thing. Came with the Wizard Special Edition or whatever. Sequel preview, pull-out poster. Austin Powers Faja. It's Faja. It's Furter? It's Furter. Faja. His Faja. Oh, his father. Father. This is another comic. William Shatner's Tech World. William Shatner. God bless him. He's 95 years old. Hope he stays with us for a long time. Yeah, he did like some books and Lee Sullivan. Kind of looks like William Shatner, doesn't it? Interesting. Mystic Quest. Okay. Well, that's it for now. I hope you've enjoyed it. And I'll catch you right here next time on Acadian Comics. If you could, if you're interested, check out my eBay store. I've got some comics for sale on the eBay store. And here's a post. There's a link in there. Is it going to do it? Yep. If you want to check that out, that's my eBay store. So I'll catch you next time here at Acadian Comics. Bye for now.